of people who should be filtering the biggest decisions in the design of this
So what,
country.
he's banished off into the desert for
No,
eternity?
you're-
Like, wreck
I'm
his
not
life,
interested.
wreck his career, send him off into
So you're
nobody.
okay with racism in your party?
Hold on, man. Let me finish. That is not what I said, so don't even go there.
Opinions vary.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Opinions Varied. It's Opinions with an A. Please like, share, and subscribe. And we have another controversy, because the media wants controversy, surrounding Elon Musk. And in this case, I think it's brought upon themselves a little bit, Elon Musk and DOGE. But we'll give you a little background with a little CNN report on it. Apparently, somebody who works in Elon Musk's little office that he has going with DOGE has said some pretty not so great comments in the past on X. Certainly things I don't believe in, certainly things I would never say, and certainly things that anybody that was around me said, I would probably condemn them for it. In fact, I would, for sure. But the case here is the Democrats really have no moral high ground when it comes to race, because they have outward racists working in Congress, and they say things on the floor of Congress all the time that are absolutely racist. And we could even go back, and we'll get into it as the video goes along. So a little clip from CNN just to give us a slight background, and then we'll get into an Abby Phillips roundtable. We'll take it from there. Let's go.
Tonight, Elon Musk vowing to rehire the DOGE staffer who resigned just yesterday after being linked to racist social media posts. An account that appears to be connected to that staffer, 25-year-old 𝐬𝐻𝐫𝐚𝐭, posting in December, quote, "I just want a eugenic immigration policy." In September, there was this, quote, "normalize Indian hate." Coming to his defense today, the Vice President, J.D. Vance, whose wife and children, of course, are Indian Americans. Vance posted, quote, "I obviously disagree with some of 𝐬𝐻𝐫𝐻's posts, but I don't think stupid social media activity should ruin a kid's life." President Trump backing him up.
I don't know about the particular thing, but if the vice president said that, did you say that? I'm with the vice president.
This is who they've decided to defend. The user called for the repeal of the Civil Rights Act. He called for a eugenic immigration policy. He said the world should normalize Indian hate.
I don't think J.D. Vance was defending him at all. He wasn't defending anything he said. He said, in fact, the things that he said I disagree with completely. But what he's saying is, I don't think it should ruin his career. We'll get into that as this goes on.
Democratic Congressman 𝐬𝐻𝐫𝐿, who is Indian American and is here tonight, like Vance's wife, is also Indian American. He asked the vice president just a simple question on X. Are you going to tell him to apologize for saying, quote, normalize Indian hate before he is rehired into the government? Just asking for the sake of both of our kids.
𝐬𝐻𝐫𝐿 ever asked Joe Biden if he's going to apologize for saying the things Joe Biden said in the past about, racial jungles and stuff like that, when Kamala Harris accused Joe Biden of being a racist in the presidential debate in 2019, 2020? Remember that?
It was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country. And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing. And, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me.
Remember that, everybody? 𝐬𝐻𝐫𝐿 ever ask Joe Biden to apologize or even question him at all about it? I don't think so.
That apparently struck a nerve. Vance responded telling 𝐬𝐻𝐫𝐿 to grow up, adding, quote, racist trolls on the internet, while offensive, don't threaten my kids. But he says a culture that denies grace to people who make mistakes does. Vance went even further in another post, accusing 𝐬𝐻𝐫𝐿 of emotional blackmail of the DOGE staffer, adding, quote, you disgust me. Well, the congressman is here, so I want to start with you, because I, for one, was flabbergasted by that exchange.
You're flabbergasted. Why? Because J.D. Vance just didn't cave and get on his hands and knees and beg 𝐬𝐻𝐫𝐿 for forgiveness?
How did you take it?
I was surprised that he reacted in the way he did. Look, I praised Usha Vance actually just a week and a half ago. I said, as an Indian American, I'm proud of her ascent as a second lady.
But hold on. She's married to J.D. Vance. Can we stop making everything about race? Every single thing these Democrats is about race. Everything. And in this case, fine. You could have the conversation. But what he just said, She happens to be married to J.D. Vance, who happened to be elected vice president. What does her race have to do with that? Absolutely nothing.
And I've known Usha, I've known the vice president, and all I was saying is you have someone who's 25 years old who has made deeply offensive comments about Indian Americans.
They're not just offensive, everybody. They're deeply offensive, which is worse than just offensive, okay? Do we get that? It's kind of like, remember in A Few Good Men, when she strenuously objected and the judge made Demi Moore look like a fool, and Kevin Pollak said, oh, strenuously object. I strenuously object. That makes it more important, right?
Who's talked about repealing the Civil Rights Act, who has talked about his disapproval of interracial marriage. You're going to rehire him. Is he going to apologize? Is he going to have any...
It wouldn't make a difference if he apologized. That's the thing. If he apologized, it doesn't matter. See, you're going to say, if he apologized, I'm fine with it. Stop. If he apologized, it still wouldn't matter. You'd still try to destroy his life. Now you're going to come out and say, well, he hasn't apologized. So if he did, I'd be fine with it if he was still working for DOGE. No, that's not true, which is, again, why this is just disingenuous.
Accountability. No one is saying cancel him. But you can't just...
Oh, yes, they are. And so would you. You're just using the fact that he didn't apologize, apparently publicly yet, or I don't know if he will. You're using that to say, oh, if he did, I would really be forgiving. Nonsense.
Just rehire him and say, okay, everything is fine, and he's going to represent the United States government.
He's representing the United States government. Can we please get a grip with these people in DOGE? They're not representing the United States government. What they're trying to do is find corruption, fraud, waste, and abuse within the United States government. They're not representatives. They're not going around speaking on behalf of the government. They're not state representatives. They're not county representative. No representation. Zero. They don't represent the library that's in their town. None of that. So let's knock it off with this. It's just so fake. He's not a representative.
Why not cancel him? Just asking.
Yeah, why not?
Because we're living in an era where we're being told.
I'll tell you why not. We'll get to it in a minute. Because if you want to cancel him, you got to have the same standards for everybody, Abby Phillips, and you don't.
That if you talk about diversity, you should be canceled out of the government. But you can post racist posts as of a month and a half ago and welcome in.
No, you're not getting kicked out of the government because you're talking about diversity. You're getting kicked out of the government because the diversity, equity, inclusion is not good for government. It's been wasting billions of dollars. That's why it's getting kicked out of the government. Nobody's getting kicked out of the government just because they talk about diversity. Stop, once again, totally twisting it.
Yeah, in a world where DEI and critical race theory and affirmative action are under attack.
Which they're toxic, by the way. That's my opinion. I think those things are all toxic and they divide us more than they unite us. So that's how I feel about it.
I feel like we're protecting white supremacists and racists and attacking black and brown.
Is this person that said this even white? I don't even know. Is he white? Is he a white supremacist? It just goes right to extremes. That's what Democrats do. They got instantly to the extreme without knowing for sure if that's the case. Can we find out? I don't know.
People who want to be part of the fabric of the country. And I'm curious how the vice president would explain to his Indian children why he stood up for somebody who said normalize Indian hate.
I'll tell you how right now, and it's something my parents told me, and we should get back to this. It's called this, ready? It's a rhyme. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. See how easy that is? That's what he's going to tell his children. He'll be like, that guy that said that is an idiot and shouldn't have said it. But it's not going to hurt you in any way if you don't really let it bother you. You just brush it off and you go do you, and you accomplish the things you want to accomplish, and that's it. You don't let somebody that says stupid stuff affect how you're going to live the rest of your life. In fact, the less attention you pay to them, the more weak they are and the less effect they have on anything.
What would he say? And that issue may not come up today.
He also called the guy a racist troll. He acknowledged that this person who he wants back in the government is racist.
They obviously fired him.
There's a lot of people that are racist in the government. Now, let's get to it. We have Ayanna Pressley, Jasmine Crockett, AOC, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, Joe Biden, Robert Byrd, Senator Robert Byrd. You don't know who he is? Look him up. Look up Robert Byrd. I believe there's still a statue of Robert Byrd in the Senate somewhere or somewhere in Washington, D.C. Robert Byrd was a admitted Ku Klux Klan something wizard or one of these people. Hillary Clinton said he was her mentor. Joe Biden gave his eulogy. Oh, he was able to change, apparently, Robert Byrd. He was given the pass. I'm sorry for what I did, but the man was a United States Senator. He was in the KK, you know what. So again, you got to get off the moral high ground. You don't have any, and you talk like you do. You don't have the moral authority to act like this. And again, I don't agree with anything this kid said. Nothing. I don't think what he said was right. I think he's a moron. He's probably another one of these, like I talk about all the time. He's an overeducated, useless person who happens to be good at coding. That's what he is. But he's obviously not too bright when it comes to just having common sense and decency. Okay.
First place, right? Why did they fire him?
Well, and I think there's two things that I see happening here. The first one is that this is the signal to his voters that we are going to let these things slide, that you can't be canceled anymore.
Here's the thing. Nobody really cares. Nobody really cares. And you know what? You don't care either. This is all posturing. You really don't care that this nobody who's working in DOGE right now to try and find wasteful spending actually said these things on his X account. You don't care. You're just using this as a way to get to Elon Musk and JD Vance and Donald Trump. And you know what they're doing? They're saying, no, we're not going for it this time. You can cry about it, this and that. We're not apologizing because it doesn't matter if we apologize. In fact, when we apologize, it's like sharks seeing blood in the water. That's what it's become. That's what Donald Trump understands that a lot of Republicans, they still don't get. When you apologize for something, and you're not even something you said, this is something somebody else said. I'm not apologizing for it. I'll handle him. I'll handle him as I see fit. I'm not going to, I'll speak to him. If I want him to go publicly apologize and he doesn't want to do it, and that's what I requested him to do, I'll fire him. But I'm handling it. This is my employee, the person we tasked to do this job, and we'll deal with it. And again, this will come back. The pendulum always swings the other way, but you'll never see this type of faux outrage come out on the Democrats or even Republicans will never come out and give the same faux outrage, or they won't get the platform to do so on CNN. That's for sure.
For all of us, however, the other vast majority of Americans, we're standing by the fact that we are going to hold people accountable to that. And with all due respect, Congressman, an apology would not suffice for me.
Ah, there you go. She just said it out loud. Apology won't suffice. Doesn't matter.
In this particular circumstance, this is a moral character bedrock of somebody's perspective of the world. I don't care what you got on your grades at Stanford. I don't care what coding competition you won. These are not the kinds of people filtering the biggest decisions in the design of this country.
He's banned?
He's filtering the biggest decisions in the design of this country? What are you talking about? Where did you get that from? I thought he's just, and in the same breath, she'll just say he's just another one of Elon Musk's 20-year-old kids doing this. So they demean them constantly. But, a bunch of just 20-year-olds. There's a bunch of just 20-year-olds. We don't even know who they are, and they're just doing this. These 20-year-olds. And then at the same time, they have now she's saying he's filtering the decisions that for this country and this government. Which one is it? Both things can't be true.
Finished off into the desert for eternity, wreck his life, wreck his career, send him off into
nowhere. So you're
nowhere.
okay with racism in your party?
Hold on, man. Let me
see what I mean. Right to the extreme. He's just saying maybe we should not just banish this kid, maybe give him a shot at redemption. And then you're okay with racists in your part right away to the extreme. Right away. And meanwhile, I would say, I'm really not I'm not okay with racists in my party, but apparently the Democrats are. And I would have rattled off all the names that I just did. And there's plenty of instances to back it up.
That is not what I said, so don't even go there. Absolutely not. I think it's important what he said. I frankly agree. If he's willing to acknowledge what he said was wrong and apologize for it, we are a compassionate people. Why can't we give?
He didn't do that.
Well, we don't know that he's done that or not.
But he has access to the World Wide Web. And you're welcome to apologize. We're very much looking forward to it.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. And as I said, it would make no difference to you and anybody else at this table.
And asked JD Vance, the vice president, should this person apologize? Vance didn't say, yes, he should. He said, God, I mean, he said all kinds of terrible things about the congressman for whatever reason.
He acknowledged that the comments were sophomoric and terrible and all the stuff
And
that he
racist.
said.
Let's
And
just
racist, yeah.
rhetoric.
So it's not
He
inappropriate.
doesn't
called
matter
the guy a racist
what he
troll,
says.
and now he's like, come back to the government.
JD Vance would have been better served if they just disowned this in the beginning. Like, this is one of those easy things to do. It wouldn't have been much.
He did disown it. He said he didn't like the comments. Now, listen, me personally, would I have brought this guy back to work? Probably not. I wouldn't have. I wouldn't have. You know what? Because I could find, I'm sure he's great at this coding. He's probably one of these wizards, whatever. Great. I'll find another one. I'll get another wizard to come in and do the same job he's doing. And I got to be quite honest with you. I think I'm done with this segment with Abby Phillips. So there you have it. It's not worth to keep going because it's ad nauseum, this conversation. And every time it can be brought up by the Democrats, when all else fails, you go to that. And this kid gave him a ground ball, and they actually grabbed this one this time. It didn't go through the legs, but it's really not big a deal that some kid working for Elon Musk said this stupid crap, and maybe he is a complete racist. I don't know. Okay. The people that work with him would have to be the ones to say, I don't want him working with me in the office. I don't like him. I don't like what he said. And I'd feel more comfortable he was gone. That's up to them to say to Elon Musk. If they're fine with him being working there and getting this job done, then he's going to work there. Okay? And it happens, and this isn't the only time this happens. Democrats, look up Margaret Sanger. Margaret Sanger. You want to talk eugenics? Look up Margaret Sanger. I can't even talk about the stuff because this video will get flagged. Look up Margaret Sanger, who she was and what she founded, and then look at her philosophy on eugenics. Do that for me, okay? Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Again, I disagree completely with what this person said. Okay, before I get called a racist in the comments, which happens anytime I post a video discussing this, I'm called a racist. But then when I say, please back up with facts how I'm a racist, I get no response. Okay, so before that happens, I completely condemn what this person said. I don't adhere to any of the way he thinks, and I think it's wrong. And me personally, I don't want him working for me. That's just me. But I'm not Elon Musk, so I don't get to make that decision, okay? And neither does anybody else. So let's just leave it there. Tell me what you guys think. I appreciate you watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time right here at Opinions Vary.
Opinions vary.